Will Daniel Jones return under center, and how much will the Giants pay their starting QB in 2023? Those are the questions on the minds of Big Blue fans, and there's been a lot of talk about Jones's negotiations with the G-men. And New York Post sports columnist Ian O'Connor, well, he wrote an interesting piece about those negotiations that I think is definitely worth discussing. And Ian, he joins me now. Ian, how's it going?
See you, Dexter. How are you?
I'm well. Always good to see you and talk to you about everything going on in New York sports, but we're going to talk the Giants and Daniel Jones today. And Ian, I always find it interesting that when we talk about labor in sports, there are a variety of opinions on what a player should earn. Now, I know that you believe Jones should get a lucrative multi-year deal from the Giants, but when you hear and see the reports that he's asking for a contract that would pay him upwards of $47 to $48 million per year, do you think that's an outrageous ask here?
Well, what do you think, Dexter? Daniel Jones's career record is 21, 31, and 1. So I don't know if that's a $47 to $48 million a year quarterback. Maybe in today's market it is. So it's an exploding marketplace. I don't blame Daniel Jones for asking for the moon, but it comes down to what he settles for. And I'm all for athletes getting what they can, particularly in the NFL, where the only thing that's guaranteed is pain. The contracts are not fully guaranteed, as you know, for the most part, as opposed to the NBA and baseball and hockey. So I am for the athletes getting what they can. But in this case, when you're a starting quarterback, you're going to be the highest paid player by far on the roster. And in a salary cap league, I think you do have to keep the best interests of the team in mind, because those interests align with yours, or they should, if you care more about winning championships or a championship than you do about making as much money as humanly possible.
Yeah, and that's where I wanted to go with you next on this, Ian, is as we can say this, Jones, like any other employee, we know this, right, wants to get as much money as possible for his services, but as you mentioned, plays in a salary cap sport. Do you think he here should really keep in mind the future financial flexibility of the Giants going forward if he wants to win?
Absolutely. And he's going to be incredibly wealthy at the end of these negotiations anyway. He's going to make at least, it looks like, $40 million a year. And I guess at a certain point, how much do you really need? The market is exploding, particularly at that position. That position is 75, 80% of the sport. So he's going to make a killing with these negotiations. And when you look at his body of work, he's a guy who's never thrown for more than 3,200 yards. Last year, okay, he had 15 touchdown passes. You have to give him credit for the 7 rushing touchdowns as well. He had a solid year, an encouraging year for down the road. And he does look like a legitimate starter on a contending team going forward. But I think that, yeah, asking for $47, $48 million is a bit crazy. I don't blame him for asking for it. But now you have to settle at a number to avoid the franchise tag on Tuesday afternoon, which would really hurt the Giants in terms of their salary cap flexibility. If that 32.4 million is all counted against the cap this coming season, it's going to hurt in trying to bring back Saquon Barkley and trying to sign some really quality playmakers, particularly at wide receiver, that will help Daniel get to the next level. And the Giants, there's a big gap right now between them and serious championship contention. And I think he needs to keep that in mind as he closes this negotiation out.
And what's interesting here about this negotiation is there's legitimately a question as to who truly has leverage here, Ian, and there is pressure on the Giants to bring back him as QB. So do you think Danny Dimes signs a multi-year deal before Tuesday's franchise tag deadline?
I think he probably has more leverage here simply because he knows the Giants don't want to use the tag because of the salary cap implications, and they don't really have another viable option as their starting quarterback. So, but I think he's smart enough to understand, look, Tom Brady took a series of deals in New England to help the Patriots win championships, and that really helped his legacy. Patrick Mahomes did a mind-boggling deal when you looked at the numbers from the outside looking in, but that contract really helped the Chiefs long-term try to win championships. And ultimately, if Jones can win 1 or 2, he saw what that did for Eli Manning. And that will do so much for him that's worth really more than money. And he's going to be fabulously wealthy anyway. So I think he understands that compromise is necessary here. And I think they will make a long-term deal by Tuesday afternoon's deadline.
The clock is ticking on Tuesday's deadline. Everybody should go and check out Ian O'Connor's column at NewYorkPost.com. It's titled "Daniel Jones Will Show How Much He Cares About Winning in Giants Negotiations." We will see what he shows by Tuesday's deadline. That is Ian O'Connor. Ian, thank you for the time. Appreciate you, man.
Thanks, Dexter. Take care.